Welcome to Pastor's Chat today. Well, yesterday we talked about in Psalm 18 how David expressed his devotion to the Lord, his faith, his love, and his hope that he had in the Lord in the first three verses. Then he expressed his distress in verses 4 through 6. And then he began to talk about God's deliverance, how God gave him victory. This is a great psalm and song of victory and praise to the Lord. It's one that we could often read, just reminding ourselves how God delivers. And then in verses 7 through 18, and we've been reading through there. So let me go down where we left off yesterday, and that was in verse 14. But then in verse 15, then the channels of the sea were seen, the foundation of the world were uncovered. At your rebuke, O Lord, at the blast of the breath of your nostrils, he sent from above, and he took me, and he drew me out of many waters. He delivered me from my strong enemy, from those who hated me, for they were too strong for me. They confronted me in the day of my calamity, but the Lord was my support. Oh, my friend, David knew that God would take care of him, and God did take care of him. And now he's telling God how thankful he is and how he is praising God for his greatness. And so several times that the breath of his nostrils, God's a God who seems to breathe. And of course, God's an invisible God. No man has seen God at any time. But you have this picture of God not sitting like a old man on a white cloud in heaven, but you got the picture of a God in action, a God who cares, a God of war, a God who can defend, a God who can protect, a God who can provide support in our time of need. And David is letting us know how he felt about that as he wrote this song. And then we come down to verse 19 through 27, and we see that God rewards us when we obey him. Notice in verse 19, he also brought me out into a broad place. He delivered me because he delighted in me. Oh, my friend, do you know that the Lord delights in you? When, and notice what he says, the Lord rewarded me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands has he recompensed me. For I have kept the ways of the Lord, and have not wickedly departed from my God. For all his judgments were before me, and I did not put away his statutes from me. Remember how I've said over and over again how David must have known the Torah. He knew the law of Moses, the first 5 books of the Bible, the judgments, the precepts, the 10 commandments, the commandments of the Lord. David said, during this time of 10 years of fleeing from Saul, I did not give up my hope and my faith in the judgments and in the commandments and the precepts and the statutes of God. And then in verse 23, I was also blameless before him, and I kept myself from mine iniquity. Therefore the Lord has recompensed me according to my righteousness. He says it again. He speaks about the fact that I've done everything I can by the grace of God to walk uprightly. I didn't seek revenge. I didn't lie about Saul. I didn't go about trying to do it myself. According to the cleanness of my hands in his sight. Several times he mentions this. With the merciful, and I love this, you will show yourself merciful. With a blameless man, you'll show yourself blameless. And with a pure, you'll show yourself pure. With a devious, you'll show yourself shrewd, for you will save the humble people, but you'll bring down haughty looks. Now, as I've read these verses over the years, in verse 26, with the merciful, you'll show yourself merciful. I've asked the question, what kind of God do you have? You know what kind of God you have? You have the kind of God that you are. If you're a merciful person and you care for others, blessed are those. This is all like the Beatitude. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. When, my friend, you're a merciful person, God treats you with mercy. What does it say? With a blameless man, you'll show yourself blameless. And then he says, God shows himself blameless. With the pure, you show yourself pure. But then with the devious, you show yourself devious. People that are greedy and devious and liars, you know what? They want to call God a liar. God doesn't keep his keep His word, couldn't keep His promises. But my friend, that's not our God. Okay, what you are is what you make God out to be towards you, and that's what we read in these verses. So make sure you put your hope and trust in the Lord, and when you obey Him, I'm telling you, He will reward you, and He'll reward you greatly. God bless, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.